Hey guys, as you probably know, we have a podcast. It's called The Car Debate. It's every Tuesday and Friday. And we help listeners find cars they'll really love, and we answer your questions.
Yeah.
Along the way, one of the most common questions we're getting now is when we're doing this research, how are we finding these cars we recommend?
Recently, we've been using a new site called Autotempest.com. They're sponsoring a few of our videos to help get the word out.
Autotempest is a website where you can search all the top used car sites at once. You just type your search in one time, you find listings from Cars.com, eBay, and many, many more. You can even compare results on AutoTrader and all of Craigslist.
There you go. Now you know what we're using. Go to Autotempest.com or find the link in the description. On with the show.
Well, good morning. Well, at least for me, it's a good morning. I'm not sure what time it is where you are, but I'm in the midst of crack of dawn sunrise drive in my new Lotus Elise. Well, okay, it's not new. It's an '06, but it's new to me. I've never owned one before. I have wanted an Elise for about a decade, and here I am in a bright yellow Lotus Elise. It had multiple owners. It has 54,000 miles on it, so it has had a lot of life behind it. It does have a few things wrong with it. There's some rock damage on some of the body panels because, well, I mean, if you drive hard, or certainly you drive on the track, that's going to happen. You may be able to see it's got the hardtop, which I love, but the inner lining of the hardtop is falling, so it's in my hair all of the time. That's going to have to be fixed. That's a pretty common issue. You're probably going to hear me say that a lot with this Lotus Elise. That's a fairly common issue. The thing about these, they're low build numbers. They are almost hand-built cars. They just have little weird issues throughout. I bought this car in Los Angeles. I crashed around the Vegas area. When I realized I was awake early this morning, I thought, hey, I can see the sunrise while driving this fun new car. And also, I can get out of the desert heat because this air conditioner does work. It does not work well, though. You have to think about it in these terms. It will keep the car 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the outside temperature. So if it's 110 out, you're going to be miserable. Remember, you've got the radiators in the nose and you've got the engine behind me, so all of that stuff's got to flow somehow. So even if the air conditioner is blowing really well, the lower part of the cabin down by your legs is hot all of the time. Another thing to think about on the road trip variation is the fact that there's no cruise control. Now, I have to be honest, I was dreading that fact on this very long drive. Now that I'm doing it, it's really not that bad. It's amazing how easy it is to keep this car at 80, 85 with just kind of a normal foot position. It's almost unthinking. If you drive from Los Angeles to Salt Lake City area, it goes California, lots of Nevada, a tiny swath of Arizona, and then you're in Utah the rest of the way. The little tiny corner of Arizona is actually one of the best parts of the drive. What it's called is the Virgin River Gorge. I would love to shoot it. The problem is there are absolutely no turnouts and there are no turnarounds. I'm obviously not going to get any drive-bys of doing this, but I thought you might want to see the canyon because it is quite gorgeous. And because I'm in an Elise, this is saying these curves have to be done at 55. I am not doing 55. I don't think that's going to be a problem. This may be the best part of my drive today right here. The corners on rails, man. That's what Lotuses do. Hello, friends. I am faster than all of you. All right, Honda Civic, you want to run? Let's go run. And daily triple. And I'm having a strange Lotus Elise moment right now because, yes, I'm rocketing through a canyon and that feels pretty Lotus Elise normal. However, the air conditioner is doing such a good job right now, I may have to turn it down. That's a little shocking. This is the speed that God intended right here. Here's why I have this car. Moments like this. The long, straight freeway in 110 degree heat. Not the place for it. This, gunning down other traffic through a canyon at high speed, let's do more of this. You're a happy girl now, aren't you? You hated traffic so much, and now you're so happy, and so am I. Unfortunately, I have a little bit of vibration in the steering, more so than your typical Lotus vibration. Both hands on the wheel solves it. It's not horrible by any means, but it is there and it shouldn't be there. So I definitely need an alignment, probably need a wheel balance. That will help the car dial in even further. In spite of that, I am still just hacking away at this canyon. So I had to get off the freeway. I couldn't do it anymore. I had to get off the freeway on a back road in central Utah and just have some fun. Here comes the cam change. There it is. This is why I spent the money. And I suffer the bad air conditioner for this right here. You have sacrifices. You have things about it you just think, this is actually some work. Then you get on a road like this, and it's euphoric. It's transformative. What other ridiculously overstated words can I use? Revelatory, there's a good one. Second cam. You can't do it, can you, truck? Nope, not happening. This car actually accelerates. It's not the FRS. Look at that. This has been quite a trial by fire with this car as far as ownership is concerned. There are pros and cons that make themselves, well, very obvious over the course of the road trip. What it's revealed to me is it's revealed the stuff that needs to get fixed. I gotta fix this. This is annoying. I gotta fix that. I need to get an alignment and probably a wheel balance. That needs to happen as well. Everything else is kind of cosmetic. It's a car with 54,000 miles on it. It's been tracked. So it could use some paint correction. Some of the paint correction film could probably be replaced. Will I do that? How often? How soon will I do that? I really don't know, to be honest. This car is a fun companion doing any kind of driving that has you in motion. Stopping, going slow, stoplights, this is not where this car is fun. I do love looking down this hood. Seeing this gorgeous canyon go by. Oh. So far on this trip I've averaged about 26 miles to the gallon and I have not been going slow. This is a car that you wear. You wear this car. You don't ride in it, you wear it. Getting in and out of this car is kind of a comedy act. Once you know how to do it, it's fine, but every time I get out it's like the car is giving birth to me. It's interesting, this car has a much slower steering rack than the FRS, and I actually really like fast steering racks. Of course, this is incredibly precise, but a lot of times I find that I'm not giving it quite enough movement at the beginning of a turn, and I find myself correcting on the back end more than I'd like. It's just going to take some getting used to. It requires you to be on point. It requires you to focus. So it isn't effortless. It's very much about you being involved. It's work like doing a workout you really enjoy. You're definitely having to focus and work and maybe put in a little sweat, but you're enjoying that process and you're enjoying the result. That's how this feels. It's not effortless. There's effort here. This is by far the longest straight stretch of time I've ever spent in a Lotus Elise. I think the longest time short of this was only about an hour. This has been 800 miles worth, roughly 10 plus hours over 2 days. And yeah, I really don't need to road trip in this car again. I can say I did it, and I'm happy to be done, but an hour or two, anytime I will be happy to hop in this car for an hour or two. It's funny, even if the exhaust isn't screaming, there's a ton of wind noise in this car. It's around the corners at the top here. It's like crazy off these big stock mirrors. And you don't realize how spoiled you are to electronic mirrors until you don't have them and you have to actually reach out to check the mirror and change it yourself. I mean, everybody's got electric mirrors. Or you've got the little thing here that you can still do it inside. These are, reach your hand out there. Best of luck to you. I'm not in love with these tires, honestly. I think I'm going to need a tire change. I'm not going to do that right away. I just spent plenty of money, but at some point I'm going to need a tire change. These are Dunlops on here. They're okay. I feel like the car is being a little bit let down by the tires right now. The Yokohamas that are the stock tire on this are flat out dangerous in the wet. So So if you're going to actually drive this car in all kinds of conditions, you've got to have a different tire than those. They're fantastic for grip. They're not good for wet. So you've got to pick a tire that is a good high-performance summer tire, but still has wet capability. So of course you're sacrificing a little bit of that ultimate grip in the process. This is the last piece of freeway before I'm home. Finally. Just rolled over 800 miles right now. 800 miles in this car. I'd say I earned it. Even when we did our feature film, Mid-Ages of Mountains, where we had a Cayman, an Elise, and a 4C, the interesting thing there is that the owner drove the Elise to us. So while Paul and I probably put 200-300 miles on that car each, it was all in mountainous areas. We'd only be on the freeway for a half hour at a time. This is the only time and the first time I have done a huge stretch of just saw through freeway miles. And honestly, I'm glad it's over. You want to see me get out of this car? You want to see me get out? Yeah, of course you do. All right, you ready? Here we go. The car's going to give birth to me. Here we go.